Nothing ruins a summer evening faster than mosquitoes. I know the feeling. You step outside to relax and suddenly you're swatting and scratching. I found that bug sprays often smell awful, and chemical repellents aren't just unpleasant. They're not great for my skin or the environment either. But here's the good news I discovered. My garden can actually become my best defense. Certain plants naturally repel mosquitoes with their powerful scents and oils. And honestly, the best part is that they're beautiful, easy to grow and do. Let's dive into the plants themselves. First up, I want to talk about basil. Truly a kitchen herb with a secret power. When most of us hear the word basil, we immediately think of delicious pesto, a fresh caprese salad, or those rich Italian pasta sauces. But basil has another lesser-known superpower that I absolutely love. It naturally repels mosquitoes. Unlike some plants that need to be crushed to release, the aroma it produces is strong enough on its own to create an invisible barrier around my garden or patio. I've learned that basil contains essential oils like estragol, eugenol, and citronellol, which mosquitoes absolutely dislike. For me as a gardener, this makes basil a two-in-one treasure. An herb I can eat and a plant that works as natural pest control. In fact, not only does it give me quick access to fresh leaves for cooking, but it also brilliantly prevents mosquitoes from crashing my summer meals. I've noticed that different types of basil offer different levels of mosquito-fighting power. Lemon basil and cinnamon basil, for example, are especially potent because they're unique. I find that combining multiple varieties not only gives me a beautiful, fragrant herb garden, but also really maximizes my natural protection. Basil thrives in sunny spots with rich, moist soil, and it truly benefits from frequent harvesting. The more I pinch off leaves, the bushier and healthier the plant becomes. One secret that I and many seasoned gardeners know is while the small white flowers are attractive, they signal the plant to stop producing leaves. By regularly trimming basil before it flowers, I encourage a steady supply of fragrant foliage all season long. Another insider trick I've used is to make a basil-infused spray. By boiling fresh basil leaves in water, straining the liquid and then mixing it with a bit of vodka or witch hazel, I create a powerful all-natural mosquito. It's safe, smells incredibly fresh, and works surprisingly well when I apply it to my skin or spray it around my outdoor seating areas. And as if that weren't enough, basil also repels houseflies, making it doubly useful during my outdoor picnics and barbecues. Next, let me introduce you to lemongrass, what I call nature's citronella candle. Tall, grassy, and incredibly aromatic, lemongrass is a plant that looks as good as it smells. Native to tropical Asia, lemongrass has been valued in traditional medicine for centuries. In Ayurvedic and Thai remedies, I learned it was used for fevers, digestive issues, and skin conditions. But modern science has revealed another one of its incredible gifts. When I think of citronella candles, what I'm really thinking of is the natural oil extracted from lemongrass. The plant is packed with citronellol, a compound proven to interfere with mosquitoes' ability to track human scent and carbon dioxide. When I plant it strategically in pots or garden beds around my patio, lemongrass forms a green, fragrant barrier that mosquitoes. Unlike candles that only burn for a few hours, my living lemongrass plants produce a continuous natural shield throughout the growing season. Lemongrass grows best in warm climates, thriving in USDA zones 9 to 11. But please, don't worry if you live somewhere colder. I can assure you that you can grow it in pots and bring it indoors during the winter. It absolutely loves full sun, and with the right care, I've seen it grow up to 4 feet tall, creating a lush tropical feel in my garden. Many gardeners, including myself, love its ornamental look just as much as its functional use. Here's a pro tip I got from experienced growers. Lemongrass doesn't just repel mosquitoes when it's growing, it can also be used directly. I crush a stalk or leaf between my fingers and the oils I release can be applied to my skin. Some gardeners even distill their own citronella oil from fresh lemongrass leaves, creating homemade sprays. And the bonus? It's also an incredible culinary herb. Lemongrass is a staple in Thai and Vietnamese cooking, adding a delicious citrusy depth to soups, curries, and teas. So, by planting lemongrass, I'm not just protecting my yard. Moving on, let's talk about lemon balm, which I affectionately call the gentle giant. Lemon balm, a member of the mint family, is sometimes called the gentle giant because of its mild citrusy fragrance and its fast-growing, spreading habit. Its fresh scent comes from citronella, the same compound found in lemongrass and citronella oil, which mosquitoes find completely overwhelming. I found lemon balm it thrives in sun or partial shade, tolerates a variety of soils, and grows vigorously enough to fill garden beds in just one season. In fact, because it spreads quickly, I often plant it in containers to keep it under control. The leaves can be used in multiple ways for mosquito defense. Simply crushing them releases their oils, which I often brew lemon balm into teas or infusions. But I also make lemon balm sprays by steeping the leaves in boiling water and bottling the cooled liquid. This spray works beautifully on my outdoor furniture, clothing, or directly on my skin. Another pro tip I've learned: when combined with other herbs like mint and basil in a single planter, lemon balm the trio creates a powerful mosquito-repelling container garden that looks decorative, smells refreshing, and provides constant protection. And beyond pest control, lemon balm has a long history in herbal medicine, known for its calming effects. Drinking a tea made from its leaves can reduce stress and promote relaxation, making it a plant. Next, I want to highlight marigolds, what I consider a bright barrier. Marigolds are often underestimated. Many people, including myself at first, simply see them as cheerful bedding flowers with their bold golden orange and copper tones. But behind their bright faces lies one of the most powerful natural pest repellents I can grow. Their secret weapon? Pyrethrins. These natural compounds are so effective at keeping insects away that they've been used for decades in commercial insecticides and sprays. Yet, marigolds do the job for free, releasing their fragrance into the air all season long. For mosquitoes, the scent of marigolds is simply unbearable. Planting them strategically creates what many gardeners and I describe as a natural fence. That's why I love using marigolds to line. They don't just stop mosquitoes either. Aphids, nematodes and whiteflies also steer clear, making marigolds a two-in-one protector for both me and my plants. In fact, I've seen farmers sometimes plant marigolds among crops like tomatoes, beans or peppers to reduce the need for chemical sprays. Marigolds thrive in full sun and prefer moderately fertile, well-drained soil. They're also one of the easiest flowers. As long as I did hit spent blooms, my marigolds will continue to flower profusely from spring until the first frost. They don't ask for much, just sunlight, occasional watering, and space to spread. Gardeners who've worked with them for years often recommend placing marigolds near seating areas or doorways where the scent naturally wafts toward you. Here's an insider gardening trick. While marigolds are strong on their own, planting them alongside basil or lavender multiplies their effectiveness. The combination of aromas creates a layered defense that mosquitoes simply won't cross. And, as a bonus, marigolds are also edible. The petals can be used to brighten up salads or infused into oils. So not only do they keep my garden beautiful and pest. Then there's lavender, which I find to be the most relaxing repellent. Lavender has been cherished for centuries, not only for its breathtaking beauty, but also for its remarkable versatility. Historically, I learned that ancient Egyptians used lavender in the mummification process, while the Romans bathed in lavender-scented water and scattered the flowers throughout their homes for freshness and pet. Fast forward to today, and this plant still earns its place in gardens worldwide, not only as a visual delight with its beautiful purple spikes, but also as one of the most reliable natural mosquito repellents I know. The secret lies in its oils. Lavender's essential oils contain linalool and linolyl acetate, compounds that mosquitoes and many other insects simply can't tolerate. To me, the scent is calming, often linked, but to mosquitoes, it's like a strong, unwelcome barrier. That's why I often plant lavender near doors, windows, patios, or garden seating areas. It naturally creates a fragrant shield. Lavender thrives in full sun and well-drained soil, preferring slightly sandy conditions over heavy clay. It doesn't like wet feet, so good drainage is absolutely essential for me. Once established, experienced gardeners and myself often prune our lavender twice a year, once after flowering and once lightly in spring, to keep it bushy, healthy, and continuously blooming. And here's an insider gardening trick I've picked up. While most people admire lavender from afar, I, as a seasoned gardener, know that rubbing the flowers or leaves gently between this can be applied directly to my wrists or ankles, acting like a personal, natural mosquito repellent without the harsh chemicals of sprays. Beyond mosquitoes, I found lavender also deters moths in closets, fleas on pets, and even flies from outdoor gatherings. Some growers, myself included, even dry bunches of lavender and hang them indoors, not only for the scent, but also for its insect. Truly, lavender is more than just a pretty flower. It's a living pest defense. Let's talk about mint, my fragrant fighter. Mint is one of those plants that almost everyone recognizes by smell alone. That sharp, cool menthol scent is refreshing to us, but absolutely repellent to mosquitoes. The essential oils in mint, especially menthol, act by confusing mosquitoes' sense of smell, masking the signals they use to locate human skin and carbon dioxide emissions. This makes mint one of the most reliable, low-effort plants. But I must warn you, mint has a reputation. It's vigorous. Left unchecked, it spreads like wildfire, quickly taking over entire garden beds. That's why I, and most experienced gardeners, almost always recommend growing mint in pots or raised containers. By controlling its roots, I get all the benefits without worrying about it invading my other plants. I often place these pots along my deck railing, near my porch, or by my garden walkways, and I always notice a sharp decrease in mosquito activity. Mint is not only effective outdoors, it can also be used directly. By crushing a few fresh leaves and rubbing them on my wrists, neck, or ankles, I create a natural, chemical-free mosquito repellent. The cooling sensation. Some gardeners, including myself, even make mint sprays by boiling leaves in water, cooling the liquid, and spritzing it on clothing before heading outside. Another tip seasoned growers share is to experiment with different varieties. Peppermint has the highest concentration of menthol, making it the strongest for repelling mosquitoes. All are effective, and mixing different types together can create a beautifully fragrant and highly protective garden display. And mint doesn't stop at mosquitoes. It also drives away ants, fleas, and even mice, making it one of the most versatile herbs I can plant. Plus, it doubles as a kitchen essential for my teas, cocktails, sauces, and desserts. Now, let's discuss catnip, the plant mosquitoes fear most. Catnip is a fascinating plant because it creates two very different reactions depending on who or what is smelling it. Cats, as you might know, go wild for it, often rolling, rubbing, and even chewing the leaves, while mosquitoes simply can't stand it. The secret lies in nepetalactone, the essential. Studies have shown that nepetalactone is not just a mild deterrent. It can actually be up to 10 times more effective than DEET, the active ingredient in many commercial mosquito sprays. That's a stunning result for such an easy-to-grow plant. For me as a gardener, this makes catnip an incredibly powerful ally. It grows quickly in both sun. In fact, catnip is so hardy that I find it can thrive with minimal attention once established. I often plant it around the edges of my patios, decks, or outdoor seating areas where its fragrance forms a natural boundary line mosquitoes won't cross. The gray-green foliage and delicate white flowers also add a subtle beauty to my garden, making it both functional and attractive. However, if I have feline friends nearby, they may be drawn to my catnip like a magnet. To protect my plants, seasoned growers suggest, and I agree, putting small wire cages or fencing around them, especially when the plants are young and tender. This keeps the catnip safe from overzealous play while still allowing the fragrance to spread. Another pro tip: catnip leaves can be dried and crushed to release even more of the. Some gardeners, myself included, even make homemade catnip sprays by steeping the leaves in alcohol or oil, creating a natural insect repellent that can be applied to skin or clothing. Not only is this effective, but it's a chemical-free alternative to store-bought sprays. The dual-purpose nature of catnip makes it especially unique. It entertains my pets, enhances my garden with greenery and bloom. For anyone serious about keeping their yard mosquito-free, I believe catnip is a must. Moving on to rosemary, my aromatic shield. Rosemary has always held a special place in human history. In ancient Greece, I learned it was considered a sacred herb of remembrance, while in the Middle Ages it was burned to cleanse the air in sick rooms. Today it's a kitchen staple for me. But what many people don't realize is that it's also a powerful mosquito repellent. The woody fragrance of rosemary comes from essential oils like cinnamon. To me, it's invigorating and mouth-watering, especially when I pair it with roasted meats and vegetables. But to mosquitoes, that same aroma is harsh, confusing, and completely intolerable. This makes rosemary not only a culinary herb, but also a natural shield against biting pests. Rosemary thrives in full sun. It can be grown in pots, clipped into decorative shapes, or even trained into small hedges, making it as ornamental as it is functional. Experienced gardeners know, and I've certainly found, that rosemary is drought tolerant once established, so it's perfect for low-maintenance landscapes like mine. Here's a trick seasoned outdoor cooks use, and I often employ. When grilling, the fragrant smoke not only flavors my food, but also drives mosquitoes away from my cooking and dining area. It's a two-in-one solution that elevates my meal while protecting my guests. Another little-known tip is that rosemary can be made into a mosquito spray. By boiling fresh bricks in water, straining, and bottling the cooled liquid, I create a natural mist that can be sprayed on outdoor furniture, around patios. It's safe, smells amazing, and works as an effect. Finally, let me introduce you to geraniums, specifically the scented bloomers. Geraniums are beloved worldwide for their cheerful flowers, but not all varieties repel mosquitoes. The secret lies in scented geraniums, particularly those with a citrus-like fragrance. These plants contain citronellol and geraniol compounds that interfere with a mosquito's ability to track humans. Unlike some repellents that only work when crushed, I found scented geraniums are effective. Their aroma drifts through the air, masking the scents mosquitoes follow. And at the same time, their bright blossoms add charm to my gardens, balconies, and patios. This makes them a perfect choice for me when I want both beauty and function. Geraniums grow best in containers, which makes them easy for me to move around strategically. I often place them near outdoor seating areas, doorways, or windows. Because they are container-friendly, I can also overwinter them indoors in cooler climates. ensuring year-round mosquito defense. Not every geranium has the same power, though. Citronella geraniums are the most effective varieties, and I find that mixing them with lavender, basil, or mint creates a layered scent shield mosquitoes just can't tolerate. Some gardeners, including myself, even crush